Alright, what's going on, guys? My name is Agent Psycho, and if my voice sounds a little bit distant, that's because I'm actually doing a face-to-face sit-down talk commentary with my good friend Protaganist, if you guys don't know him. Most of you guys do know him. For those of you guys who don't, because you guys haven't recently subscribed to my channel, Protaganist is a good friend of mine. He first introduced me to commenters when it first came out for open beta. He was one of the closed beta testers, and right now I have him sitting with me. And the reason why we're doing this commentary is because this is actually my last night with him, or his last day, whichever you prefer, because it's like midnight here, and I'm over at his house, and I'm going up to college in about 6 hours.
As well.
Yeah, he's going to be leaving after like a few days afterwards, so we decided to do his last final sit-down commentary, because we're not going to be seeing each other until like at least for 4 months.
Thanksgiving. Anywho, we'll be going off to way different colleges. Paul will be staying here, going to University of Pacific. And I'll be going over to the East Coast, so either way, not much chance of meeting.
We do have Skype, but I mean, how
it's
often?
It's much different when you talk face to face.
I mean, how else are you gonna? It's just something about talking over Skype and talking to face to face is a little bit different. But anyways, what do you want to talk about?
Well, anything and everything. So how we started combat.
Sure.
So we both started in closed beta. I found out a bit before him. I was actually playing the Korean version of CS or something, and somehow got into Nexon, got into Combat Arms. Combat Arms has changed a lot since the old days. For those of you old veterans out there, you guys can remember when the kill system was much different.
Well, rather but say the same. It's just that other. It's not so much the kill system has changed. It's just
I mean, all the graphics has changed.
Graphics?
Well, you know, like when the kills come up, it used to be much
yeah,
different.
the UI, the
there were
HUD.
no nut shots, and actually nut shots even counted as one shots at one point.
Yeah, when they first came out, it was kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of good ideas thrown in. Then I felt like it was getting ridiculous, like halfway. I mean, some of the newer things are, like the new guns that they constantly put out with. I mean, it feels like old guns all over again.
Well, I kind of beg to differ because like now they're not releasing any guns that have variants. Like you used to remember back in the day.
I mean, that's when combat had literally no guns.
That's true, but
what our starting weapons were the G36.
Like G36, AUG, A1, MK16, SCAR-L, M16. Well,
no, even the SCAR wasn't even there. It was the UMP that was there.
You mean like back in the day, like
this was closed beta.
Okay,
closed beta.
Well, I didn't play closed beta. You did. And you remember the glitch?
Open.
You remember the whole Steyr?
Yeah, there was a Steyr and UMP glitch back when they weren't released. On top of that, there was also the. Well, actually, those are the only hidden guns. We only had the K1A, the Uzi.
That was a lot
K7.
simpler back then.
Yeah, there weren't as many weapons to kill people with. Yeah. Mines were there, smokes were there. Fire and gas were mostly not used. The super nade was, I don't think it was present.
It wasn't there at first, and then they put it in. I think it was around a time. Was it around the time when they put out like they basically removed the fact that you started with 2 grenades. Like you could only take one, and then they added the frag pack and the
much more.
Yeah.
I mean, I still remember the days when they put in Ninjato.
Yeah. This guy at one point had more kills with the Ninjato than I had my #1 gun. Yes. That being the G36E Valkyrie, and I find that, for me personally, absolutely pathetic on my end.
Exactly. Well, that was a Ninjato way back in the day. I only bought it once for like 90 days. It was a lovely weapon. Now I had a permanent Don Pedro, which apparently Nexon decided to sell for perm.
He wasn't there when he Nexon decided to sell the Don Pedro for perm or for perm.
I'm one of the lucky 10 bastards that got it for a year.
Yep.
Ahead of you guys. Anyway, that's things in the past.
Well, like 2 years, but that's okay.
I mean, I still remember the first time they put up the Halloween sickle, the turkey leg, turkey backpack.
Well, I remember that too. Halloween sickle was probably the most OP shit in there was.
However, I think Paul and I could both agree that we miss the snowball fight.
Oh yeah, snowball fight. They should really bring it back. It's been 4 years, Nexon. We want it back.
Yeah, at least just for one winter. It's for those guys that haven't played it.
You guys need to try it out.
Yeah, it was great.
It was really fun.
I'd take it over any sort of You know.
And the best part about it
Zombies.
is that I suppose this is the reason why Nexon never introduced it back. The fact about the one thing about Snowball Fight is that it was the
Your
only
power
game
level.
type, and well that too, but it was the only game type where you didn't have to bring any of your own guns. It gave you all of them for you.
Yeah, like what they gave us with
Yeah.
like 736.
Yeah,
70.
the recent
Anyway.
the armor arsenal thing.
I mean, still, I'd rather have a snowball gun. I mean, I only got to use it with the guy with. that
I
had
mean, at least
hacks
it's
at
better
one
than your
point.
stupid M16.
Actually, why don't we talk about some weird experience in CA? I did meet a hacker several months ago that replicated a lot of good guns. A lot of guns that weren't put onto the NA servers, like there was a P90, like
You mean
Clan.
you mean the
It was a
European
re-
one?
Yeah,
Because the European
one.
servers have a different
the
kind of
European-
P90. We have the Vipers. They have something else. I don't know. What
The
it's
European P90.
called. Yeah, European
I got to
P90.
try that. I got to try the jackhammer before it was
Oh yeah, the
released.
jackhammer was there was
released.
the weapon hackers or weapon spawners actually spawned the jackhammer before
I got
they
to
actually
use
released it.
a MK48 that used
Spawn
airstrikes.
airstrikes. That was hilarious.
But the coolest thing was the guy actually managed to get a snowball gun.
Yeah.
Couple
There
times.
there have been I've seen weapon spawners that spawned snowball guns. And I thought that was pretty cool, even though it was kind of annoying.
Yeah, as much as
It
it
is,
was,
it was just
annoying,
like
it was great.
Yeah. At least we got to see them back again. At least we know they're still there.
Yeah,
But
the
if-
game
as
files
for-
are there. The game modes are no longer there.
Yeah, it's like as for whether or not we'll be able to see them again. Well, it's been 4 years. If they haven't brought it back yet, I don't think they'll ever bring it back again. But I mean, we can always hope.
Or put in complaints next song, which they're never gonna
Alright.
take until they're gonna give up on CA and just say, okay, we're unlocking everything. Those who pay for it are suckers. Which I feel like they're
I
doing
don't
now.
think Nexon's gonna do that.
They are
because
doing that
Nexon's
now.
cashing on combat arms. There are
No,
so many people paying for combat arms.
Terrible,
that's-
really.
well, you might think it's terrible. Maybe people may have left, but there's still those guys who just
Sorry,
pour their money into Nexon. They're not gonna leave combat arms.
yeah, I mean,
It's a cash cow for them.
you invested a lot into it, but I get the same feeling that there were many better games out there that came out. While you were
Yeah,
playing CA.
well, those games may not be games I enjoy, so I'll be until something
until
a game
you
like
get
that
over
comes
it.
out. I'll be sticking with my combat arms, no matter what kind of shit it goes.
I mean, I'll still be around every once in a while. Let's see, what were some old stories? There was supposedly a grenade that was supposed to call down an airstrike, which was, I believe I've seen it used by the weapon spawners, but it never actually really worked. The description was also in the early days of combat arms pages. It was under explosives, and this was there.
Oh
But it
yeah,
was never
oh
put
yeah,
out.
I remember that.
This was
when,
never put out.
Yeah, when
I'm guessing because there was
Yeah.
just so many limitations to
I
this
suppose so.
airstrike.
like it was back when the Arsenal page was still there, and it was its earliest stages. Like most of you guys may not remember. You might actually dig up screenshots of the old Arsenal, but when I checked out the Arsenal back in like
Yeah, it
2008,
was gone.
2009, it was there. You could actually find a grenade that said it called down an airstrike, but it was never implemented. So
Well,
Nice.
the object is in game. It's just they never really completed it, I suppose.
yeah. There are guns like that. Like the
Yes.
have you heard of Combat Arms Russia? I don't think you've heard of that.
Nah.
They've opened up a Combat Arms server for Russia, and it's really new right now. And the thing is that you can actually get the black man from the relay.
Wow.
Right now there's no black market. There's no black market. Everything's for GP.
Wow.
There's no fem bases. It's like as if it's
They
what Combat Arms
restarted it.
would have been. It's what Combat Arms would have been if there was no bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of things that shocked us when they first put it in were obviously the mercenaries.
Mercenaries and then
At first,
specs
they were
and
just basically vests for
Yeah.
you to employ. Declan and May.
then Declan's Maze were obviously
Actually, no,
most
May,
popular.
May didn't come in for a while, did she? I think it was
I don't know. In my experience, the mercs are always there. And maybe they were implemented really early, but
they
for
were
me,
implemented after Ninjato.
Okay.
I think.
I
Otherwise, I
don't know.
might get my patch notices wrong. Anyways, fan bases were a bitch. Especially when the one shot nut shot came out. A lot of
Yeah,
people switched
no.
to fan base, including you.
Yeah, I did. It was a while back. Cause I was like, well, the thing is like if you have a male base, not only do you have a larger hitbox, but also you're gonna get one shot by nut shots. What's the point of that? So I just got a male. I got a gender based switch like as soon as I found out, and I've been stuck with that ever since. I mean, I know now that nut shots don't really do the one shots anymore. I don't even think they do like enhanced damage anymore. It's just whether or not you shoot them in the nuts for the killing blow or the killing shot.
It's a killing blow.
Yeah, it's a killing shot. So, I mean, so I suppose I don't have anything to worry about in that respect. So I just need to worry about the large hitbox still. I don't know if I'll ever change bases. I mean, if someone, I don't know. I don't want to give anyone any ideas, but if someone gives me a Mayo base change, I'll be tempted to use it because not only because of the fact that you guys gave up $10 of your own money to give me something, but also I mean I know I've been getting complaints from especially my other clanmates, you guys probably know who, that they're constantly bitching about bunny hopping fem bases. Like I have a habit of bunny hopping. I have enough criticism from everyone else, so I don't know, maybe I'll switch to male base, but I mean until that time comes I'll try not to think too hard about it, but whatever.
Actually, do you still recall when we first got the Miss G supply cases out?
Miss
into combat?
Oh, when they changed it.
No, when we only had Miss GPs.
Miss GPs. What do you mean? What do you mean? Like
you paid $5 grand.
You mean the only ones for each gun category?
No. We paid $5 grand in GP for the Miss case, and it was only for GP, and it will have any gun for any duration.
I don't remember that at all.
This was this was like pre-black market status almost.
I don't remember that. Then it must have been in closed beta or something, because I don't remember.
No, it wasn't closed beta. It was during public.
Then
I recall this because I used the MS.
Yeah, but the thing is that I never really played intensively in
during
the early public beta.
Yes, I played intensively during the early public. Well, not the public beta, but the early public.
I started getting on in like the mid public.
Yeah, you started getting on around nutshots and stuff.
Not even.
Okay,
I've been before nutshots.
Nutshots
were. Yeah.
So we have the right to complain. We didn't have that crap. Let's see. Actually, speed gear. Why don't we talk about that?
Speed gear. Well, the thing is that
huge game-breaking. No, it was literally game-breaking. I mean, honestly, a 26% speed boost was.
You can't have 26. The maximum you can have is 25.
Oh right.
Because Recon Vest, Patriot Mask, and Cyclone. And the thing is that as of the 4th anniversary thing, they pretty much gave, if you just logged in on certain dates, they gave everyone pretty much the equivalent of like they gave everyone a free permanent elite bandana, which was 7% plus speed.
Oh my god.
Like really? And they get the 4th anniversary elite backpack was also pretty much the same as your utility backpack. With 3 slots.
Combat Arms has been doing some terrible things out recently. We don't agree with it too often.
For me, it's interesting. It may not be good, but it's interesting. For me, it just keeps things fresh. Like the thing is that they like for example, the most a good example of this is the fact that they're trying to change their quarantine. They give out the thing about it. They release the mutagens, the crusher, and the striker to buff up the zombies, because if everyone's a spec, the specs will just M32 and claymore the shit out of the zombies. Now the zombies have the mutagens, which will obviously help them a lot with more HP, speed, whatever you want to call it, or whatever they have. But also the next song gave the humans modular backpacks, which is pretty much plus 4 slots, which gives you even more room for even more explosives. It may not be good, but it's definitely changing up the game. The dynamics are not staying the same.
There's some interesting parts that I added. I agree with the strikers. I agree with the modular backpack. I don't agree that you're just giving away for free.
They didn't give them away for free, but I mean, the modular backpack was
the 4th anniversary backpack. I mean, really?
The thing is that not many people got them. You had to log in every single day of the 4th anniversary.
Even then, it's still pissing off people that worked hard every so often, including the early days of Combat Arms during the beta.
Well, the thing is that those people who worked hard, most of them are gone, just like you. So
yeah,
it's not like Nexon cares about them.
There's been too many there's been huge episodes with hackers.
Yeah, like Christmas VIPs, Thanksgiving VIPs.
Yeah, it was mostly because of the hackers.
Yep.
I mean, at first it was very interesting to see this system exploited, like people flying around midair.
But after a while,
it's like
everything else just gets old and be like, yeah, another hacker flying around, calling airstrikes like a bitch.
I mean, it was really bad when they could crash the game too.
I know. Game crashers, those were bad.
I mean, how did they even come up with that? What was next on doing?
Well,
This has been okay. It's been working better during the closed beta. Then
that's
it is
because
now.
no one was really on.
Exactly.
No one was really on, so no one really knew about it. I don't know. It just seems like Common Arms is just an easier game to hack. Either that, or it's because it's so popular, so many people hate it, that maybe those are where the
Yeah,
hackers
I've
are
considered
coming from.
hacking a couple times, but it's just been too much pain for me to deal with.
I've
It's
never
like,
considered
you know what? I'll
hacking.
play it
I'm just
fair
like, yeah.
every once in a while. Screw
I
it.
mean, I get enough complaints that I hack anyway, so if I were to hack, it's just be
Yeah.
like, well, I'm proving your point now, so.
Yeah, back in the day when I was actually active, yeah, accusations were basically like an almost every game thing. I mean,
They still are, dude.
not to you. I'm not active anymore.
Yeah, no, but still,
I'm 7
they
years
still are.
retired.
They still are. Common Arms has been scarred by
The
accusations
14-year-old
way too.
CODs, COD kid ragers. Anyways, they've all come up with combat arms. Still fail. Epic.
Well, it's because a reason for that is because Machinima at one point, I think a few weeks ago, actually had their YouTube page for combat arms.
Oh my god. Well, I wish they stayed in COD. It wouldn't bug us, but
The thing is,
Well,
if
there's
they,
assholes
most
in every
COD
games.
players are Xbox, so it's not like COD
there's still
Xbox
14-year-old
players.
kids that can't do jack shit.
Especially if they have mics, but thank God most of them don't. And
They
for
just-
that, you have the F8 button.
Just trying to type thing up. Freaking faggot. You're a hacker since you killed me. Yeah, I killed you. Let's say I have 1 kill and 8 deaths, and you still call me a hacker. What the hell is that?
Hackers.
I mean, really? That's just terrible. Anyways. Yeah, Combat Arms went through a lot of things back in our days. What are some
And
other
no one
things?
can deny that it's definitely most likely it's taken the turn for the worse. But I mean, if you want to leave, then that's your choice.
Yeah, we've had its good times, we've had its glory days, and we've had its bad days. Right now, I think we're stuck on the bad days. It's not gonna go up anytime soon.
It's not. It's never will. Once you take one bad turn,
I will make a
it's probably gonna
prophecy
go down.
saying that game will get better when America does.
Which is never.
I don't know. Instituting coup d'etat sounds really good to me now. Forget I said that. Anywho, what else happened? So that's mostly for CA. I mean, it's
Yeah.
kind of hard going back all the way 3 years and recounting every single damn
Everything.
thing that's
I
happened.
mean, we could relive
I
some
mean,
of our glory moments. I mean, I
the
remember back in the
breakout
day.
of Cabin Fever was
The Cabin Fever, oh man,
It
yeah,
was
let's talk about Cabin Fever.
huge.
It was huge. Like, it was probably the first legitimate, like,
challenge. in
yeah, it
combat.
was, yeah, exactly. Like, Cabin Fever was hard, like, hard. Extreme, because no one knew how to play it, Extreme was bitching
Terrible.
difficult. Especially because you didn't have respawn tokens back in the day.
You didn't have
You
respawn
didn't have
tokens.
respawn tokens. Most people didn't have access to, like,
M30
utility
like, people
backpacks.
hoarded the items
Yeah.
downstairs and upstairs.
Like, they didn't know how to use them. They didn't know the exact mechanics of this. So like the black L9681 Black Man that you
Yeah.
get on round 11, it two shots tanks, but no one really knew that. So they were just like derping around shooting anything they saw, and they're kind of wasting bullets on like the lesser zombies, like the explosive and normal zombies, and not using it for like the witches.
It's
or
so good
the
if you
tanks.
collateral with it.
Yeah, if you
So-
collateral them, then you're getting more out of it. But they're really
no
meant
one
for
really
anti
used it
tanks,
like
yeah.
that.
And the M32, they didn't realize. Most people didn't realize how powerful it was, especially if you shoot yourself. Like literally, if you
Yeah,
shoot yourself
we
like
saw
a far
more.
on the maximum range, you still take. If you're full HP, you'll go immediately down to like 30 HP.
Not
or
to
something.
mention the teammates were dumbasses and
They
people
always
just always get in front of your
yeah,
32
they
shots.
always go in front.
I'm
they
sorry,
always-
like it's like they were intentionally trying to do it sometimes too. At this time, specs were just released, so not a lot of people.
no one really
actually-
knew about specs,
the
especially because
M32s.
I think back in the day they didn't have the specialist backpack, did they?
The
like two slot
M32
license.
came out with the specs, if I recall.
Yeah, they
correctly.
did. I remember buying the.
But
the
it was there.
Yeah, it was.
I recall it was there, but it was just so much more beefed up.
Mhm.
It was either that or like got nerfed at some point and got beefed up again because I remember.
Nah, I don't think they changed it. At least
No,
not
it
the
got changed for
Commodores
quarantine.
Or the,
I recall it.
well, for quarantine, yeah, because the original M32 was really powerful.
Yeah,
it
it was.
always two shot. It almost always one shot. People were like even slightly damaged, but it only had 6 rounds and there was no reloading. Now they changed it so that it was a lot weaker, but you have 6 more rounds.
No, I mean the other things that they changed about it was when we first got quarantine, it was impossible to kill
Oh, yeah, that's
without
right.
using a spec.
Yeah, it was really hard. Like every
Like, it
quarantine,
was-
when quarantine first came out, it was literally zombies win, zombies win, zombies win, zombies win. Humans stood no chance.
I mean,
Unless you had extreme teamwork, like you were playing with a dedicated team that knew what to do, it was really hard taking out zombies. Even back in the day when zombies didn't have any regeneration ability, like when it was just called quarantine, not quarantine region, it was still really
it
tough
was
to take out
very
zombies. Like
frustrating.
explosives were like
nerfed.
half as effective that as they are today. Like I mean, they were still your best chance, but still like
I mean,
no
you guys
one knew.
didn't-
Yeah,
We also didn't have the tracker knives or anything.
nothing.
to
No
slay
no
zombies.
OP melee weapons.
I mean, the Ninjato was there, but
Yeah.
you don't really use it.
yeah, you
in
don't use
zombies.
it. It's not as good as it is. It's not fast.
I mean,
enough.
there's a huge risk in taking Ninjato down to a fight. Possibly
With a
use this
zombie,
with Don
exactly.
Pedro.
It's,
But yeah, it's generally not something you want to do.
mhm.
Think times have changed now, and tactics have gotten much more, I don't know, open.
What?
No, I mean, there's many more things you can do with it. Back in the day, it wasn't running; it was all static defense.
Oh yeah, static defense. Yep. Because back in the day there was no recon vest. I don't think, right?
No, there wasn't.
Yeah, there
no,
was.
I think no, it got released
I don't think.
after.
Yeah, it got released after. I thought.
But yeah,
Because if recon vest was around when quarantine was around, I mean, free running is kind of a new phenomenon. I don't because it's been out like recently. It hasn't been around for a long
it's
time.
been around for like a year or so.
Well, it gained popularity like this year though.
I mean, there were many things that people got raged over. You know, you could actually hide in the barrels back in the day
Oh yeah, that's
on
right.
overdose, and you could actually hide on camera.
You still can hide on
I
camera.
mean, like they know that you're on the camera
Yeah,
now. Like,
they know.
they don't know
to
how to.
get there.
They didn't know how to get up there.
Yeah. But now a lot of people do. I still don't, but I mean that's because I don't play quarantine a lot.
Yeah, well,
I still get the gist of it, but I mean I never tried.
yeah, it's. The mode's gotten not as fun. I want to say. I mean, it was
Still,
fun.
the overdose is still the
Like,
best quarantine.
There was a
map.
point where it was equally matched, where humans could win or zombies could win. I don't know what they put in, but it started to break up that balance.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, those were the fun days. If you survived all the rounds as human, you were a freaking boss, and pretty
Yep.
lucky that you didn't get turned into
You were
massacres.
actually respected for surviving a round, even if it was just one round. You were respected. Like people would
And
be
actually,
like
at the beginning
respect.
of quarantine, they also didn't know that you could break the bars or the door.
Yeah, they didn't
so-
know that. So if you got into safe house in the
You
early
were
days of
basically
quarantine,
safe.
yep, you were safe. They didn't know that you could break down a door.
Well, that was that. But so that's quarantine cabin fever.
Yep.
Blood money was a pretty bad.
Oh, hired guns. Okay, so let's
Yeah.
talk about hired guns a little bit. So, Stefan's heard of Death Row, the new hired guns map, but he's
I
never
haven't
played
played
it.
it.
He hasn't played it though.
But I have played Blood Money,
Yeah,
and I
but
wasn't too impressed.
I actually really like Blood Money. I really like the concept of it. Like we actually had a really good objective play, and if you played the objective hard, you could score a lot more points than people
Yeah,
who
I
just
know, I
who
mean-
just went straight up kill whoring and
I mean, I
slaying.
once got
Yeah.
all the gold bars and transported to my
80
base.
gold bars, that gives you a lot. I think it's
It
like
gives you a lot of
1,000
money.
points per gold bar.
But
so it gives
you're
you
at minus 45
Yeah, I know,
speed constantly.
yeah.
You might as well
Especially
take a
because
heavy,
you yeah.
just take a heavy back or heavy vest.
And you're
Baron.
fine.
You'll be fine.
Just tank everything.
Yeah,
That's what it does.
Well, that's how that worked
Yeah.
out.
But the problem about hired guns is that the map is just so linear. Oh, well, not in the middle of the
I mean,
map in
it
front of the bank, but
was
it was
so
just linear.
Broken for snipers.
Yeah, exactly. So
Not
sometimes
only
whenever
that,
I host
the
like
AI's like system was like batshit dumb. I'm
Combat
sorry.
Arms Engine can't support advanced
The-
things.
The
Advanced
AI for any mode sucks.
Yeah. Unless it's cabin fever or
No,
fire
even
team.
then, like they just start freezing up. You know.
Yeah, but still, they still troll you.
Oh yeah, if you're black. Anyway, that was. I think that will be the end of our discussion for CA. I mean, it's hard digging up memories from 4 years past.
I still can.
Actually, why don't we talk about broken guns then?
Broken guns. Where to begin?
M14 VR. My favorite broken gun of all time. I have one video of me owning one-man army with this. It's not even a fair competition. Anyway, that was probably the most broken gun that Combat Arms has put up with.
It
to
shouldn't
date.
even be considered an assault.
It's not a sniper.
Rifle. It's not a sniper rifle.
They
Trust
consider it
me.
a sniper rifle.
but it's not.
It's a 2020 assault rifle that you can put into a snipers only match and troll people with.
Like, what was this rated fire, like 50?
Very high.
It's freak.
It
I don't think it was higher than 50, but it was ridiculously high.
For a sniper, that
Exactly.
2-shot.
I think it's faster than the actual M14 itself. That's how fast.
I think it's on par
it
with
is.
M14.
It probably is.
Yeah.
But that thing was ridiculous.
It's 2-shot.
When they first released it, I was like, wow, Nexon, what the frick?
Well, we thought it was good, and I happened to get it because it was
Yeah.
my birthday. So I put in some cash into MX and get the M14 EBR, tried it out, and the results are devastating. The gun itself is just batshit insane, and I'm betting Combat Arms would probably recall it back if they ever knew how much damage you could wreak with it.
Yeah, thank God it's an rare instead of NX
God.
standard. I mean, when they released the MK14 Mod 0, which is almost like the M14 EVR, except like it's basically like an overpowered M14, but not as powerful as the M14 EVR.
Yeah.
I was like, this thing reminds me of the M14 EVR. The body frame looks identical to the M14 EVR.
Wait, which one was this? MK?
The the MK14 Mod 0.
Oh, that one.
The just a gun model in first person view. It's identical to the M14 EVR. Clearly, it's a ripoff or something along the lines.
Yeah, my love of machine guns rarely extends past Ultimax.
Yeah. If you guys have watched my Ultimax review, you'll know that we both do love the Ultimax 100 for a good reason.
Yeah, it's racking up a lot
It's
of
devastating.
unbelievables. Like, I remember when they put it on sale between the Ultimax and M24
Mm-hmm.
or MG42.
Oh, yeah. MG42?
You picked the MG42E.
You mean the M20 or M21E?
Oh, it's M20.
Yeah, I picked the M21E. Step
I
4 went with the
picked the
Protaganist went with the
Ultimax.
I mean, M21E is still a good machine gun, but I think it's nowhere near
it's-
par.
Even though
with the
stats it's
Ultimax.
better than
Yeah,
Ultimax.
Ultimax. Just something about the Ultimax. It makes it a lot
There's
superior to
like a
the
hidden-
to the M21.
There's a hidden trait in that.
There's something about it. It's as if
gun
it has
that
point on accuracy. We can't really put our finger on it, but still, it's better. It's a lot.
Yeah,
better.
I mean,
I think it's because it has faster rate of fire. It might be
Maybe.
because of that. And also the spread recovery and the overall recoil aspect about the Ultimax one, I think is a lot better.
is it side to side or was it up and down?
Ultimax is just side to side, but it wobbles up very slowly. M21E is a steady left to right, but it's a
Yeah,
lot
that's
bigger.
probably
Ultimax
why.
is short, so it's a lot more controllable.
Yeah. I mean, I remember back in the day when I was training with AN. That was pretty harsh days, really.
Until he learned about the 2-burst function or the 2 round.
No, I mean, I knew about that from the start, but it was mostly controlling your recoil. Once you train with the AKs, there's not much in the game that would let you run loose with recoil, except for the minigun. And let's not get started on the minigun.
Oh, speaking of the minigun, the Legion.
What the hell was that?
The
I mean,
Legion is
Terrible. Terrible idea.
epic minigun that non-specs can use, and I still have 2 of them remaining in my inventory.
I thought you bought a perm.
Nah, you can't buy a perm.
I thought you bought a perm when you could.
No, you can't.
Oh, what the hell. Anyways.
Those are probably the spammers.
Oh my god. That shit was terrible.
It was pretty much like a minigun. Well, I've already emphasized this enough, but it's a minigun for non-specs. That's basically it.
They didn't need one. I'm sorry, that's just breaking the game. I mean, that's the kind of shit that's making me...
Actually, lots of people actually did get it for perm when Nexon gave everyone free one free pop-up case. Like, I got mine for I got my first one for 7 days, but I heard that many people got it for permanent. It's just that because they don't know how to use it, or because they're not big fans of using minigun in the first place, for like regular matches, no, you don't see it very often.
I mean, there's a lot of restrictions on it. You lose mobility.
You lose mobility. It's hard to use. Like
Recoil's
not many
hell.
people understand the mechanic
Recoil.
of the spooling effect, and they don't know how to control it. And just Legion is just, and the minigun itself are very complicated weapons to use. It's just that when you know how to use it, it becomes broken.
Yeah. Actually, one thing that didn't exist in Combat Arms beginning was the quick shot. It was mostly blind shotting, and no one really played sniper only. Actually, that mode didn't
What, quick
exist.
scoping?
Yeah.
Oh well.
Hey,
Yeah, I suppose it. Yeah,
It was
I can
not
see that.
very-
Quick scoping wasn't a big thing until
Yeah.
like Call of Duty made it popular.
Oh, yeah.
And then quick scoping came to combat arms, and when you just let people,
I'm
just
still-
like, oh, we're so pro. So
Yeah, I still get.
I mean,
caught in the
I'm getting, even though I know I'm a decent sniper myself, it's like, yeah, sure, you might be good at quickscoping, but it's just, yeah, you don't need
Fancy
to, you don't
party
need to be
trick.
like, oh, I'm so good at quickscoping. Look at me, I'm the next optic, guys.
Yeah.
You don't need to do that. That's
Or
not
you can be the
called
next
for.
troll like me and just spray and pray with M1966.
Just make everyone mad. Just spray people out with M1866 or M14 or whatever you want to use. That's why I don't really
14 EVR is
care.
still awesome, though.
Whenever I host a snipers only game, I don't really care what you use because no matter what you use, even if you use an automatic gun, I can still kill you. As long as I have my bolt actions. It's
Well,
okay.
you're gonna be a bit frustrated if you send fucking EVR.
Yes, but I'll make sure to kill you before you can see me. So
Oh,
I
yeah,
think
no idea what happens.
I think that'll happen more often than not. But anyways, I mean.
It's...
Other than that, like the new, going on the topic of overpowered and broken weapons, like the new epics that they've been released, like the Legion and now the Orthus. I'm sure you've heard of the Orthus, the dual Chris's, the dual Scorpions. I mean, dual Scorpions.
Well,
they're
it's a perfect idea.
Yeah, they were good. They were meant for the game, in my honest opinion, because you
But
know
to
their
buy it
limitations.
as a set was a terrible idea. I mean,
Yeah,
it would
exactly.
have been better if you could buy 2 of that gun.
Exactly.
The Scorpion. And
Like Protaganist is a huge fan of dual wielding. Like we wanted to see some form of dual wielding. So when I first saw the dual Scorpions in the game, or put out for the game, I was like, cool. Maybe they can release more. They can expand on this dual wielding feature. But clearly,
Seems
Nexon
like
wants to
it's
limit it to
cut.
just one set of weapons. And with the release of the Orthus, it seems like they're gonna stick that way.
yeah.
Like we were hoping for something like you could either buy 2 of the same weapon, like you could dual wield some machine guns like you did in Call of Duty. You can dual wield pistols because they're understandable. Maybe even melee weapons too. But
Yeah,
I mean, you can shift with melee weapons, so it doesn't really matter.
As broken as it sounds to have 2 anacondas, I think it might be a good trade-off.
Yeah, seriously. Just make sure that there's some sort of trade-off for that.
I
Like
mean,
more recoil or something
no,
like
dual
that.
anacondas would be like you'd have to press both left and right. Let's say.
Yeah, but at the
So-
same time, if they have the same
But the
spread, just shoot
accuracy
at the same
is horrible.
time. But the thing is that the anaconda is so accurate anyway that
Yeah,
as long as your
close.
aim is true, you're always gonna get hits.
Yeah,
They're just hard to use because they have slow rate of fire. And they
I also
have- they have
understand this
respawn.
bitch program, but still, we want to see something like that, and it
Yeah,
didn't
we
happen.
want- Like maybe even if you bought two weapons of different kinds, like you say you bought a Desert Eagle and a USP, you could equip them both. I don't know I'm just going on a limb here, but that would
Okay,
be
here's
nice.
another thing. We know that melee weapons are stronger when you use 2 hands. Apparently, combat arms does not do this at all.
Well, that's stretching it. That's probably stretching limitations of the engine, but I could be pulling that one out of my ass.
I don't know. If you strike something with 2 hands, it's gonna be hurt a hell of a lot more than if you strike it with 1.
Sure, that's legitimate, but
We haven't seen that. We haven't seen anything use 2 hands.
like it would be understandable if your character model actually used 2 hands for the Don Pedro sword, because that's a freaking sword, you know.
Right, it's a sword, or even the Ninjato could qualify. Or maybe even the shovel.
Yeah.
And sledgehammer definitely qualifies. If they're one-handing sledgehammer, we have problems.
That's
the
a
ones
freaking 3-pound sledgehammer, people.
Wait,
Not
are
even
the
one-handed.
one-handing sledgehammer?
Yeah, that's a one-handed
Oh
sledgehammer.
god, it's okay. That's terrible. The purpose is to crush them, meaning
Not smack them around.
you want them dead in the fewest amount of hits possible, and one.
We don't care if it takes like a longer
much better.
attack speed. Like I don't care if I have to click a button and click like left click or something and wait like at least a second or 2 in order for it to strike. It would make a lot more sense if your character model actually had 2 hands on that thing and it'd be a one shot.
I mean, the ballistics knife from COD is a perfect example.
Mm-hmm.
When you melee attack with it, or actually if you have ballistics knife and in zombies, when you melee attack with it, you attack with both your regular knife and the ballistics knife. That was very good. You're doing twice the amount of damage.
Not really, but I mean, it sure
yeah.
seems that way. It sure seems that way.
Actually, it does. It does more damage than usual.
Though that's for zombies, dude.
Well, a knife is an insta-kill in COD, so you can't deny that.
Well, this is common arms.
Still would have liked. Well, I would have liked to see a more COD-like implementation of melee.
Then again, people are just gonna go around knifing each other all the
Yeah,
time.
I mean-
I mean, it's a big enough thing anyway for in the Call of Duty scene for panic knifing and shit.
I mean, yeah, there's that. But would have loved to see maybe 2 swords or something. I mean, come on, if you're gonna one-handed weapon, might as well have 2 of it. Either
What are you
that
gonna
or
do
put
with
in
your
two-
other hand? Jack off? Seriously?
Exactly. I'd rather have like 2 M79s, which they give us at some point. Like, what's the point of keeping the old one too? I mean, it's been terrible. I mean, there's a lot of gaps that we want to fill in. There's a lot of logic gaps in a lot of games.
It's game. It's just a game, dude.
Yeah.
Real life stuff shouldn't apply to video games for the most part.
Well, okay, let's seriously get off the topic of comic arms. Why don't we end the video here and talk about Andy?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. We can just keep the recording rolling.
Alrighty, very well. So, it's been... what was it? Do you recall anything of the previous expo? Okay, not the one that we just had, the year before.
So the
Your
previous
first
expo.
expo.
So no, well that wasn't technically my first one. My
Actually,
first one
yeah,
was in
your
010.
second.
Yeah, it was in 10.
You did come with me on 010.
I came with you on 10, but it was only for one day.
Yeah,
I got a 1 day pass and it was on
you
site
were already
too.
gone.
Yeah. In 2011.
You stayed
Yeah,
for 2
I
days.
stayed for 2 days. I stayed at the house over at Carlos's, but I didn't stay out 4 days at the same time.
Want to talk about recent anime?
Recent anime. The thing is that I can't really talk much about recent anime because
Well, I guess I'll
haven't
start
been-
off then. A lot of this summer's animes are actually based off of light novels.
which is a good thing for him because
I'm a
Dennis
fan
is a
of
huge
light
fan
novels.
of light novels.
As well as visual novels. Go Google the difference. But, I mean, Campion, Hagura Yusha, no, it's Tetika. What was it? And Wheel of Alternative, Total Eclipse are all from light novels. I think I might have missed one. And I know there's one from visual novels. I think Paul would agree with me here if I say that we're kind of running out of fresh ideas for original anime.
Well,
A lot of it has been adaptations of mangas, light novels, visual novels that have all come in from the past.
Yeah.
The last season's Majikoi, or Majide Watashi ni Koi Shinasai, was a visual novel to start with. There were some other ones that were mainly started with visual novels. White Album 2, I think that came out last season. I was right. Actually, yeah, never mind. But I do know that there were some in previous seasons that did stem from visual novels more often than not. What's your take on this?
What?
Like running out of fresh ideas, both American and Japanese culture. I mean, what have we been doing in America? We've just been putting out sequels, except for Valve, because they can't count 3. But still, has Valve released anything new lately? Are they working on something? Oh, let's hope that they get over the can't count to 3 syndrome. But I mean, there haven't been many new games except from maybe Assassin's Creed. What have they been doing?
Well, they're
AC1,
moving on to
AC2,
AC3.
ACR, AC3.
Well, I don't know. Assassin's Creed.
I mean, they're just living off the glories of their older games. I mean, it's really hard to find fresh new games like Dishonored. Or what are some other ones that are coming out? I don't even know anymore. Like Heart of the Swarm is gonna be out, which is SC.
StarCraft.
And Diablo 3 came out, which is expansion of the Diablo universe. Well, Blizzard isn't gonna do much when WoW is gonna milk all the money for them. Shame to all you WoW people. Let's see. Let's start listing out some other game companies.
Well, GTA 5 was announced, wasn't it?
That was a while ago.
Yeah, sure, I suppose. But Max
Persona.
Payne.
They decided to make a Persona 4
Persona
fighting
4
game.
Persona 4 Arena. Mashima had a live stream on that.
I mean, the only sequel I was glad to see was King of Fighters 13 and Melty Blood, Actress Again, Current Code. Both fighters.
All fighters.
I feel like there's been no real fresh ideas coming out lately. It's
I mean,
making
you
it
could
hard
go
to-
look at individual in like standalone games like Sleeping Dogs.
And yeah, I mean, those are great. I want to see more of those, but like they're not getting the fame that like they could get because they're just putting out sequels and sequels and sequels. You know? Bioshock 3, or Bioshock Infinity, I should say. That's coming out. Yeah, it's just
Our point is that there comes a point where it's time to just let the dead horse lie and move
Yeah.
on to other original ideas. Because, I mean, after a time, I mean, if there's a sequel, then cool. If there's like 5 freaking sequels, then it's like you're kind
We
of
have
being
a
a dead
problem.
horse. Like,
Like,
really, you can't think
Halo-
of a new thing now. Like, really?
Halo is stretching it actually. Well, they're putting it as a new company, so I want to see
It-
how they're
3
gonna
for
take the
3,
new
yeah.
thing. But they
Lots
said
of
that they're
them.
gonna make it up to 6, which is like holy crap.
Well, then again, Man's Comic went up to 11. So
Yeah, Man's Come is a flash animation. Animation. It's like an episode.
I suppose, but
We
It's
tolerate
come on,
more than like
sometimes.
10 episodes. Come on. Seasons used to be 30, and mostly repeating scenes. We only have to look
Dragon
back.
Ball.
No, we only have to look back at like Wing to still see the effects of like repeating scenes. Actually, Seed was great in repeating scenes over and over and over again. Well, this is coming from people that like to read about anime. Let's see. It was both that and what else was there?
I don't really know. It's been like 2 years since I last followed anime seriously.
Yeah, you've been absorbed into combat. It's like draining your life.
It's okay.
Yes. Well, at least the visual novel sector is not doing so bad.
At least, well, the thing
That's
is
like
about
my
visual
one
novels
last
is that
haven.
I mean, the thing about
Like, you
visual
see a lot of
novels is
cliched
that
things getting repeated, but sometimes they're so fresh that you can't even like deny it. Love was a perfect example of that. Cliched high school romance with these same characters that you see every day, but they did it in such a good way that like I never felt so bored of the characters.
yeah, that's because they blew their universe to shit.
That's the second time. That's the second one. Unlimited. They blew Earth to shit because they're fighting a war of attrition with aliens.
Wasn't that Mulov as well?
That's Unlimited. Alternative, they actually win. Sorry if I spoiled it for people. It was great.
Wait, so the original Mulov was just a random.
Oh, the original Mulov, it was called Extra, which really made no sense to me. The first part of the story is called Extra. Anyway,
They're trying to be clever about it. Don't worry.
yeah, main character goes and lives an ordinary high school life. I mean,
And then in the sequels, you understand why they call it extra.
yeah, the continuing parts of the story is Unlimited and Alternative, which are like,
Titles actually make sense for God's sake.
oh my god, very bleak, very bleak.
It's like you thought there's a good motivational poster that Protaganist made to a shirt that has a picture of one of the characters from Mulov Alternative, and the captions say drama. When you watch this, your sense of drama is
No, it was
invalid.
Mulov. Your sense of drama is invalid.
Okay, whatever.
And
it
I
is.
had a picture of the rich girl, or Maya Mitsurugi, getting blown to smithereens by a laser, or more like vaporized by a laser, that she forces the main character to use on her and the alien brain. And of course, I had to put this onto a shirt because it's just so epic. Let's see. It was still good to see something new like Swan Song, actually. Though it still worked off some of the ideas of Cross Channel, which was 7 people within an isolated community. Or like, it was just 7 people in Cross Channel, but this is an isolated community in town, in Swan Song. That was... It played off the same, like, fears of Cross Channel. Made by the same guys, partially. It's like, there's a fear that you could get killed for no reason, that there's no order, there's no... Like, you can't trust the people, even though they're the only people there. I suppose I should say I love animes, visual novels, mangas, light novels that make you think. It's like, if it raises up something moral or something, I usually take the more extreme side, but it's more enjoyable that way. Actually, this has become more of my rant.
You just noticed?
Yeah. You lost out when we went on to anime. Dude, come on.
Duh! I've been missing out on anime since like last year, 2 years ago.
Oh, come on. Did you at least watch Guilty Crown?
No. I watched the first episode, but that was in our anime club.
It's because I forced him to watch.
Yeah, I know. Oh, we did.
Honestly, that thing gave Code Geass a run for its money. If Code Geass wasn't around and hadn't been as perfect, Guilty Crown would have been a much bigger hit. Still, the animation was amazing. Anywho, anything else? Actually, speaking of which, we didn't really go paintballing this year.
I suppose not. We went paintballing last year.
Yeah.
Lo, so let us tell you about our paintballing experience last year. So when we went to what was this paintball?
Hollywood Sports.
Hollywood Sports. If you guys live around the Southern California area, we go paintballing sometimes at Hollywood Sports. And the last time we went was with our friend Carlos, who you saw in some of my Anime Expo videos, and we also went with
several members of my anime club.
Derek was one of them.
Kendall, Aaron, my sister, and her friend Dylan.
Yep. We all went paintballing one day, and we just rented out some paintballing equipment from the park, and we just went ham in there. But the thing is that the catch is that our friend Derek not only brought his own AK-47 paintballing gun, also he brought
airsoft.
Okay, oh yeah, that's right. We didn't go.
He brought airsoft gear, and it's like, oh, I don't want to get messy, so we're like, okay, you know what, rent out some gear or something.
Sure. So anyway, we got some paintball. Well, didn't we play? Oh, it wasn't with you guys. I went airsofting with other guys. But we went paintballing together, and the thing is that Derek actually brought a homemade flag of the Soviet Union.
Which this was Independence Day. Oh, was it Independence Day?
It was
no, Memorial Day.
Yeah. So what Protaganist decides to do is he asked Derek for the Soviet, or he actually arranged for Derek to bring that homemade Soviet flag so he can run.
I did not arrange it. He just
okay,
brought
fine. He brought it, but anyway, that doesn't change the fact that you asked to hold the Soviet Union flag, and when Derek asked you what you were going to do with it, you said you're going to run around with it and act like an idiot and shoot people.
Which it worked.
Yes, it hilariously
That's the
worked.
saddest part. It worked.
Because the thing was that apparently, according to Protagonist, when he was getting shot by our opponents, they shot the flag instead of him, which is completely retarded. Because at one point or at several points, he was just standing out in the middle of just in the middle of the open, planting the flag down, getting on one knee, and just shooting anything that moved in the middle of the map, and it was ridiculous.
Yeah, I was standing there, ran out of bullets, ran all the way back to Paul, who was out, grabbed his gun, went back all the way to the other end of the field.
At one point, at certain points, he had to one-hand the paintball gun, which is actually kind of difficult because the way that the paintball guns actually were framed, or the gun
use
design,
gravity to put balls into the
so basically
gun.
the back of the gun is heavier than the actual barrel of the gun, so basically you're gonna have to be constantly pushing up against the back of the gun in order to steady your aim, and it was especially hard if you only had one hand, especially when you're carrying a Soviet flag right in your left hand, so that made it even harder on him, but he still owned it anyway. The highlight of that one was when I think it was one of the last games
where
where
you
went.
The first game where we went to Mad Max.
I don't remember.
It was a tower.
In any case, I just remember you just after the game, you just planted the flag on top of that.
I'll tell the story.
Or whatever it was.
So if there's a map called Mad Max where there's a tower on the opposing side, so they have an advantage of sniping everyone from that. Not only did I run to the middle of the map and not get shot, I had to run back to get Paul's gun when I was out of bullets, and I ran all the way to the tower, and stormed the tower, carrying the Soviet flag.
It was highly ironic.
And I stormed it by myself with no reinforcements. I took out about 6 people there, 3 kids, who were like, we're gonna do this, we're gonna put this awesome plan by sniping everyone. Are you guys ready?
And he comes behind and says, nope.avi, headshot.
Yeah, it was headshots. I just executed all of them, turned around into the building, shot the 3 people in there, and all the teammates are shooting into the windows. And I'm like, I need to get them to stop. I could try yelling ceasefire, which probably isn't gonna work and get me hit. So I'm just gonna wave this flag around. And
Everyone knew who the Soviet flag belonged
Yeah, it's
to.
like,
It was pretty
hey,
apparent.
it's a Soviet flag guy! Ceasefire, ceasefire!
It was pretty apparent.
Yeah.
As for my own highlight reel, there was this one time. Do you remember?
You got 6 people still.
Yeah. Do you remember what was the map of that name, or what was the name of that map?
We were on Lunar Map. I think
It was one of the maps where, in any case, like, so we were playing this one game in the middle of the day. So the game starts, and I'm hanging out with the protagonist. Actually, protagonist goes off on the right side of the map and goes on doing his own thing. I'm sticking to the left of the map with our friend Derek, and Derek goes off on his own to try to penetrate deeper into the middle of the map. Well, I just stay on our position on the left side. I start noticing that the gunfire starts heading, like, drifting towards the middle of the map. So I figure, like, hey, if the gunfire is going away from me, then it's probably because nobody's really hanging out on the left side map anymore. So I slowly start pushing up like a ninja, and eventually I sneak up so close to them that I can literally hear them around the corner, even though I knew they were kind of far away, and I didn't know if there are any people posting up on the left side. But I decided to go there anyway. So I think in like a few minutes, like 10 or 15 minutes into the match, without firing a single shot, I decided to just book it and go around the extreme left side of the map, like basically the border of the map, and I just book it around. The funny thing, or not the funny thing was, but the thing was that right as I popped out, there was another guy who popped out at the same time, and it was literally who could pull the trigger faster. And luckily enough, I managed to get him with a headshot. So he's down, and because my cover is blown now, he's surely gonna tell the other guys. So I shoot him in the head. The force of the bullet, because we're so close to each other, I think we were only like 10 meters away. The force of the bullet that I put into his head knocked him literally back, and
he must have been a really like kid.
Yeah, right? I know. He wasn't that big. So I hit him in the head. He gets knocked backwards, and he lets go of his gun, thankfully, so he couldn't shoot me anymore if he was pissed off. And I run past him, and I realize, because I'm expecting more people behind him, but I realized he was kind of alone. So I just keep booking it. And finally, I come up to a storage container thing where there's literally 6 more guys. I'm just like, oh shit! I was like, shit. So I'm just like, put my gun. I said, surrender, you motherfuckers, surrender! And luckily for me, all of them surrendered. I don't know how many people were there, but there had to be at least 6. They all surrendered, and I was like, so these guys are all here. So I start going up, and I just make everyone there, all of them surrender, and I just keep pushing along the edge of the map, and I shoot everyone else that I know I can't yell at to ceasefire. Eventually, I got shot in the back of the head. I think 3 times by this guy who apparently, I don't know what happened, but I suppose I didn't see him. But I got shot 3 times in the back of the head, but I didn't go down because I just thought it was someone who I made surrender, and then he was just trying to get back at me. I thought that was happening, but apparently eventually it got to my attention that it was actually a guy who didn't surrender, and he wasn't legitimately out of the game. But by that time it was too late, because everyone had pretty much, I think I had like the most of the team surrender, and the rest of the teams just moved up and knocked up.
Yeah, the rest I pushed up the right side and finished off anything.
Yeah, that was my own highlight reel.
Heard the whole story from Derek. Actually, there's some other good highlights of that day too. What else was there?
There were lots.
There was one where when we went to the maze on Lunar Landing, and I pretty much ended up in the middle of their formation. They're controlling quarter of the map. Third of the map is no man's land. The other quarter of the map is the other whatever's left is ours, because we took over the maze. And I ended up just rushing in, shooting everything that moved, killed a whole bunch of guys, and got taken down 2 shots to the head by some guy that decided to come around the corner for whatever reason. Of course, I also ran into a group of little kids, of like 6 or 7 kids, and since I'm not such a nice guy like Paul, I just auto-executed them. Such a nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they were planning again with a bigger group, like dumbasses, even though they were way far back.
In paintball matches, it's usually a good idea to just go solo. but that's only if you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
If you don't know what you're doing, then yeah, it's kind of better to go in a group. But then again, if you don't know what you're doing, then that makes you a target for people like us.
Yeah. Well, okay. So here's the part what was the most painful for me, and there's two accounts of the story. One is from Derek. The other one is from me. However, since I'm the one that got shot, I think my version of the story makes more sense. So we play on Mad Max again, and we are on the side opposing tower again, which is for some reason we never start on tower, which is like a very douchey move. Anyways, so we have to storm the tower again. I storm it first, except I take the longer route to this one room, but I take out more guys on the way. Apparently, my side of the story is I burst in from the far side of the room, guns blazing, which results in me getting hit by like 7 people. I took 2 shots at the chest. Took down 2, got shot twice in the chest. And then Derek comes in saying, "Surrender, surrender!" And this is Derek's version. He apparently runs in first, yelling, "Surrender, surrender!" And then I come in guns blazing. You know?
I remember getting shot by, because I got shot nearly point blank.
I got shot from 5 feet away
but
twice.
You got shot in your chest. I got shot in my stomach, and plus, also I got shot in the back of the head at least 3 times. So.
Yeah, but you weren't like literally. It was here to here where the guy was. I nailed him, the guy next to him.
Well, that guy wasn't too far
4
away.
guys
either,
right there.
So
Started
that guy wasn't
shots
too
at me.
far away either from me. So maybe he was twice the distance, but still, that's not a lot for a paintball.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, getting shot by paintballs isn't fun.
Like it is. It's fun to a point. I mean, to be honest, I basically took those 2 shots and actually just kept going.
If we were playing by
Like, if we were playing by
until
different-
you can't take it anymore, then
I would be one of the last people standing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Because I've played Airsoft. Airsoft Retribution, which that was our name back in the day when I used to airsoft with some kids that I knew down in Torrance. I used to play like hardcore airsoft where we would take off our shirts and shoot each other until we went down. It was not fun.
Well, it's
But
easier
I mean,
if you make it to surrender. Because if you went down to dodge bullets, then it's like, what's the point?
it's pretty much the same as getting shot to death. But I mean, it was fun in its own right because everybody had to be careful, especially when people brought their own guns that shot like what 1,000. I don't know, but
that would be Tokyo Mario
yeah,
PSG1, but not a lot of people didn't have the $600.
Like no one it's even for airsoft. No one really has any legitimate sniper rifles.
That is the only legitimate sniper with 1,000 FPS.
Better not be shooting
To
around
my
point blank
knowledge.
with that thing.
No, I mean, dude.
Like I've always wondered for those maps, both for airsoft and paintball. Like, can you even get on those towers? Like, have anyone actually gone on?
Yeah, you can get on those towers as long as it hasn't been raining recently. Otherwise, they say it's too slippery and you can't go on. They even had specific map modes for that too. The thing was, like, well, you can't go on lunar landing. You can't go on top of the containers, but you could go on top of the tower for Mad Max. That's where I had the room and everything. So that's that. Oh. Fun day. Ran around with Sword Flag a lot. We plan to do it this year, but just due to sheer lack of time and money, because everyone's getting ready to go to college, we spent all of our money on food, especially ramen and anime stuff, at Little Tokyo, and of course Anime Expo. Not much fun to go into paintballing. It's fun while it lasted though. I doubt we're gonna go paintballing for a long time in the future.
Yeah. I mean, we'd have to organize it like a long way ahead of time if we want to.
Those were most of our fun years of senior year of high school. Or those were fun times of our senior year. Can't really point out anything else other than me playing a lot of eroges and visuals. I know Paul keeps raging about whatnots continuously.
I rage about everything, dude.
I know.
Don't worry about it.
I know. I still remember when you got kicked out. No, not you kicked out. You ran away. Had to come here. I was like, oh my god, dude. A lot of shit happened.
It got bad.
Anywho, well, It's been a fun year
Yep.
since Paul started his YouTube channel. Guess I'll be around for the beginning and the end. For now. This will see me play a couple games with Paul, so
It's not like he's gonna be a common
you're not gonna miss me much.
If you miss him, he'll make sure you won't miss him ever again.
Yeah.
That's for damn sure.
I mean, want to go back to talking about comment arms or something?
What else do we have left to talk
Yeah,
about?
I mean that's our only real common point with these viewers.
Alright.
All the guns that we sort up. How many perms do you have, man?
A lot. Don't worry.
What the hell?
At least
That was
I'm not like my
terrible.
other friend, Sniff, that has so many perms he can't buy anything else.
Wait, he literally can't?
He can't. He's diamond grade.
Oh, doesn't he get all the guns free?
No. He just
Really?
has to pay, dude.
Dude, that's messed. I heard a rumor that if you got on the diamond that you were supposed to get everything
I
free.
heard that too, but I kind of damned it.
I suppose it's easier just becoming GM to do this. No, I'm serious. Really? A diamond? What the fucking hell? I'm
Yeah,
sorry, that's just terrible. If you could put 10 grand.
It's 5K. It's 5K.
Oh, it's 5K?
Yeah.
They lowered it?
I've heard from, I suppose, but that's what I heard from that guy
I
called
heard that was
Sniff.
10K.
Yeah,
I
same
heard it
here,
was
but
10K.
I think it's. He told me it was 5K. He told us 5K.
Yeah, anyways, 5K for combat? Not really worth it.
Of course not.
Well, this is coming from the guy that put in 1,000 to Anime Expo in 1 year.
At least it's well, I mean,
4 days, but still, I only get it like once a year, and it's like physical material. And this covers my ticket, my food and whatnot, everything. It's more like vacation, if you ask me. Anyway, I think that'll wrap up our discussion for tonight.
I mean,
It's
we
been
can always
fun.
talk again. I mean, he has.
Yeah, we've got
we have
Skype, as long as Paul's. I'm
Yeah.
up by the time Paul's up, which is like
It's
three.
not too bad. I mean, I
It's a
had to
3
talk
hour
to
difference,
people.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's 3 hour difference. I mean, it's a lot better than talking with. No offense to you, UC, if you're gonna ever watch this, but it's a lot better than talking with people over in Australia. I mean, that's a 7.5 hour difference.
Longest plane ride is from here to Sydney, 19 hours. Longest continuous flight. Yeah, that's terrible. Anyhow, well, thanks for listening to our rant. So, for the final time before December, I'll be saying goodbye to Paul. At
Mhm.
least to see him in face to face. I don't want to see your face on camera. At least not on your laptop. I don't
Yeah.
care if you make like a video of you going down to like a little Tokyo because if you're back here for the weekend or something, but yeah, I don't want to see your face from your laptop when I'm on Skype.
It's like, whoops! I accidentally clicked the video chat thing.
Whoops, I'm logged off from Skype. What happened? Whoops,
I
I
don't
logged off
know.
again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
Anyways, guys, thank you very much for watching. It's been
or more
about
like
an hour.
listening.
Watching, listening. I'll probably have gameplay over this, but oh well, who cares? Anyways, guys, we'll see you guys later, and hopefully I'll have more new commentaries like those with them once we, get back and do our own business once we're back
I'll have
home.
more stories from college.
Yeah, I do sure hope so.
Well, Paul's forever alone, so I'll have more stories from
Yeah,
college.
he'll definitely have
Forever alone.
it. Hey, shut up. Anyways, anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys later. You can shit